I hate strip malls. The story of your life has to take place somewhere. Your first kiss, your first job, your first car accident.
I'm sorry, bro. Come on. Okay, I know this looks like it sucks, but the point is that even the small things in your life should happen somewhere beautiful.
What are you talking to?
So if our entire lives happen under the constraints of human-made environments, why didn't we build all of it to be more beautiful? Outside of houses, the most popular man-made environment in America, more than high schools, more than McDonald's, of which there are 68,000, one for every 5,000 Americans, is strip malls. This is the story of how America gave up on building beautiful towns, and in its place, let strip malls take over. Strap in, because it gets kind of weird.
I'm in love with that guy right there.
Are you? Yeah. Oh, you're joking. P. Diddy's bedroom.
We're probably talking tens of trillions of dollars.
Holy sh**.
Yeah.
This is what Kansas City used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. That's the worst glow down since Stacy's mom, who now just used to have it going on. At some point, we just gutted our American cities, and there's more than zoning and car culture that explains this. It just doesn't make sense to me how America's wealthiest town, Loudoun, Virginia, has a downtown that looks like this, while Turin, Italy, which has a fraction of the GDP and population, has a downtown that looks like this. We'll answer why this happened later, but it's a fundamental reason why America was overtaken by mall strippers.
Trice, that's not what strip malls are short for, dude.
Oh really?
From the top.
But something you should consider is that America stretches longer than the distance between London to Moscow or from Denmark to Syria. Yet while Europe has so much architectural diversity, I bet you can't tell me what town I'm in right now. In fact, I bet you can't tell me what state I'm in. Chances are you're still guessing. And isn't that kind of weird? You might think in the world of e-commerce that strip malls would have just become a relic of the past. But much like that cockroach you trapped under a cup months ago, these sons of just won't die. In fact, not only won't they die, Wall Street Journal called it the new king of retail real estate, while Business Insider called it the hottest new thing. Also my nickname in high school. Actually, just one guy called me that, and it was a teacher, and he got fired for it. Strip malls are making more money for their investors than data centers. You know, the thing that's the backbone of AI, the future of our economy. They're making more money than data centers. So it's as if that cockroach you trapped under a cup not only survived, but escaped, married your wife, and raised your children. How on earth are strip malls pulling this off? The answer may have to do with CEO's #1 enemy, working from home. Don't worry, Jamie Dimon, I will crush them for you, my darling. My cute little darling. Give me an internship. See, in 2020, there was a 45% increase in the rate of people moving from cities to suburbs. Another secret of strip mall success is that they offer urgent in-person services, like nail salons, laundromats, tutoring companies, car repair shops, FedEx, UPS, and Hooters, an iconic strip mall restaurant and the worst place to run into your elementary school teacher. And thanks to that, strip malls saw their foot traffic increase by 18% compared to before the pandemic. Who would have thought the pandemic would have been good for in-person retail? The only comeback story better than that is LeBron's hairline. Look how cute he looks. He's the GOAT and his hairline is perfect. All this increased demand and attention towards strip malls has allowed their investors to raise rents by 17% compared to before the pandemic. Compare that to the increase in rent for retail stores in Manhattan, which has gone up by a grand total of 0%. And big box retailers like Macy's are closing stores in New York, but opening them in strip malls. Strip malls are like the Pete Davidson of real estate, just pulling way out of their league. And honestly, ladies, I get it. No, Pete, no, not 19th century European urban design, no! To learn more about strip malls, I talked to someone who makes their living off of them. Strip malls are your life.
Yes, they are. Since the age of 22, I've been focused on strip malls only. They're my hobby, and so, you know, I don't know what your issue is, but let's have a little conversation here.
All right, I'm gonna play this game. It's called Smash or Pass. All right.
Pass, smash.
Are you serious?
Totally.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Follow your heart with this one.
Smash, pass, I don't know what that is.
Are you kidding me? This looks like an
Is that
Italian
a
town. No, it's a downtown retail center in California. Smash or pass.
I'm in love with that guy right
Are
there.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're joking.
That's a
You're
strip mall,
joking.
my
You're messing
friend.
with me.
Look at the beauty of
Are
the
you
strip
paid
mall.
off by
You
like
got
big strip malls? So in the 20th century, we just built a ton of these, but not that many of these.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, that's a boilerplate rectangle that contractors know how to build quickly, they're established, they're just cheap to build. I'm not gonna build a building to lose money, right? So that makes money, that doesn't.
So what has made strip malls succeed where sometimes outlet malls, shopping malls have been failing?
Yeah, well, I think that customer is really sticky, right? There's folks that visit, you know, twice a week, every day, once a week, whatever it is. So it's really this like beautiful ecosystem in the heart of the community.
So basically, economics will never let America look like this again. Strip malls' efficiency catapulted them to nationwide success in the 20th century. And as strip malls grew, they shaped the American urban landscape around them. For example, strip malls make sure that there's at least 5 parking spots for every 1,000 square feet of retail space. That's so much parking. Wow, it's just a lot of strip malls. I mean, this town's pretty ugly.
I'm raising my children here, but yeah, thanks.
Before you also accidentally insult your boss, make sure you get the right guidance. To get back on good terms with James, I'm gonna need help from today's sponsor, Strawberry.me Career Coaching. Look, everyone who's made it anywhere in life has done it with the guidance of others. But why should the rich executives be the only ones to get gold standard mentorship? You and I deserve that too. And Strawberry.me matches you with certified career coaches who are experienced yet affordable. They help you stand out against other applicants, develop a clear roadmap for a promotion, nail how to negotiate a salary, or in my case, handle delicate conversations with managers. Strawberry.me holds you accountable so you can be the captain of your own ship, master of your own destiny, king of your own, you get the point, right? But seriously, if you don't take control of your career, someone else is going to take control of it for you. So go to strawberry.me/morning-brew and take their quick quiz to match with an experienced career coach and claim your $50 of credit. That's strawberry.me/morning-brew. The greatest asset in your career is you, so invest in it. And if you invest even a fraction of how much America invested in covering this country in strip malls, imagine where you'll be. Just think of the possibilities. I'm getting riled up thinking about it. Back to the show. See, to get to the final reason as to why there's 68,000 strip malls in America is hidden in the answer to a much deeper question. Why does every American town kind of look the same? See, what happened in Kansas City has happened to countless other cities. This is old Cincinnati, Minneapolis, Columbus, Dayton, Ohio, P. Diddy's bedroom, St. Louis. They used to be walkable. They had a New York City vibe to them, and now they're all gone. Why did we destroy them? I think I know someone who has an answer. Kobe, what the happened to our American cities in the 20th century?
In the post-war period, we messed up a lot of our cities. We subsidized them with tens of trillions of dollars. We ran infrastructure right through the middle of them. And then to make things worse, we took cars and we gave them dominion over all of our housing, commercial, and industrial tracts.
So how much total money did we spend on subsidizing building these suburbs?
On an inflation-adjusted basis, we're probably talking tens of trillions of dollars.
Holy sh**.
Yeah. So this is Cincinnati in 1955. You can already see some of this urban renewal occurring in this part of the city. And in 2010, unfortunately, you can see highways running through the entirety of the city, choking off a lot of the access to the waterfront. We see this extension of urban renewal. So where we had strong, fine-grained neighborhoods before, we now have empty patches of land. We have highways continuing all the way through, and we have vacant patches.
That's like a 20-lane highway in the middle of the city.
Upwards of 60% of the land in the downtown cores of these major American cities is dedicated to highways, roads, parking lots, and parking structures.
60%?
60%.
So the city's just a highway with a bunch of buildings in the middle of it?
Unfortunately, a lot of cities are. Here's a before and after of one neighborhood in Cincinnati.
This is the same street?
This is the same street. Kansas City, a very similar story.
That's insane.
These highways are going out to the suburbs, and instead of shopping downtown, much of the commercial space that people are going and using is out in the suburbs and in strip malls.
Kobe, do it. Do it. Kobe, do it. I can't handle it anymore. So, Kobe, why does every single town have this like super ugly strip mall? And why do they all look the same?
So, there's about 20,000 incorporated areas in the United States. Some of these are places like New York City that writes their own zoning codes. Some of them might only have 500 people, but they still need a way to plan for their growth or to plan for the people who live there. It was simply much easier to copy the zoning codes that the town over from you had and apply them to your own. And you had this contagion effect across America, and over the course of about 10 to 20 years, all of America was rezoned to look functionally the same.
And the reason why we started gutting the existing cities that we had is because we have this common misconception that cities are governed by city governments. Not really. See, state governments play a much bigger role in governing cities, but state lawmakers are accountable to their voters. And in every single state, voters disproportionately live in the suburbs. And what do suburbanites want from their cities? They want an easy way to get in, to park, to work and socialize, and then to get right out. The wealthiest cities in America were the first to be gutted, and the wealthiest city after World War II was Detroit. So it was the first to see a major highway just built right through it. And that's why Detroit looks like this today. No wonder Eminem's always pissed off. So while wealthy cities gutted their downtowns to build highways, cities that lacked the funds to tear themselves apart were the ones that were able to preserve their historical downtowns, like Charleston, South Carolina. In fact, the reason why Europe was able to preserve so much of its historical architecture is because after World War II, their governments were too drowned in debt to have any money left over to build suburbs and highways at a scale as large as America did. It's such a weird irony of history. If you want to be beautiful today, you better hope you were poor then. And as these suburbias were being built, homeowners wanted a say in how their neighborhoods would look. You would hate if your neighbors just built a zoo or a McDonald's, or even scarier for suburbanites, affordable housing. I mean, that could really hurt your house's property value. Luckily, in 1926, the Supreme Court ruled the Euclid versus Ambler Realty Company decision, which granted local towns the ability to zone the area around them. This decision came coincidentally around the same time cars became way more popular. In the 1920s, the number of registered drivers tripled to 23 million. Now, it's illegal to build anything other than a single-family home on 75% of the residential land in American cities. No stores, no apartments, no condos, nothing. See, you might think that you don't live in a city and you live in a little thing called a suburb, but in reality, 80% of the American population lives in just 3% of American land. So by every definition of the word, that 3% of land is urban. It's just that through zoning, that urban space has been turned into repetitive housing and retail space with little opportunity to build anything new. This is just what American cities look like now. And this brings me to my final point. Strip malls are America's defining real estate, with 68,000 of them, one for every 5,000 Americans, not just because they are convenient, but because our post-World War II infrastructure bills created a car-oriented society, our zoning laws protected the value of single-family homes, and our state lawmakers gutted our older urban downtowns for the convenience of suburbanites, thus stripping down the American downtown into a strip mall. The American downtown is a strip mall. Oh my God, so strip malls are here to stay and there's nothing we can do about it?
Well, it's not that we should be doing something about all strip malls. Some of them can be really, really good. Your favorite Vietnamese restaurant that lifts a family out of poverty. Your beauty salon that would hardly be profitable anywhere else. And that laundromat that was always agreed to get your clothes to you right before your big date, even if the date didn't go so well.
How'd you know the date didn't go so well?
It's okay, man. You don't have to worry about it.
Kobe, I've made a huge mistake. Oh my God. Dear strip malls, I'm sorry I compared you to LeBron's hairline, among many other worse insults. At the end, Europe might have the Eiffel Tower, beautiful towns around windy medieval sidewalks, but strip malls has my neighbor's small business. The coffee shop I'm never more than a 5-minute drive from. The Michaels we bought those poster papers at to make promposals with. Europe might have charm, but strip malls has my memories. I love you, strip malls.